2, 1. Okay. Good evening. It's almost morning. Good evening. As we wait for people to jump in, good evening. And today is the 4th of February. So today is World Cancer Day. It's quite late in the evening, but I thought I would share this and try and be very consistent in how much I'm able to post and just do these sessions. Let me take a twist a bit today and share from something that a few of the learners in the school, Tenwick International School, as well as my own children are doing as part of Bible quizzing. And this year, the main theme or the dwelling point is on the book of Genesis and the story of Joseph and his brothers, and how God used that as a ministry to the family of Joseph. And I thought it would be a perfect time to just share on what I have been able to learn from that particular book. Some things that I think are practical in our life. Again, this is Dr. Liz. I am passionate about education, matters education, and just share every so often on life and what we can all learn from each other. Again, today is World Cancer Day, so I don't know if we can really say Happy World Cancer Day, but cancer is something that is with us, and the numbers keep on rising. But the biggest take home is early diagnosis. Get checked early, get early treatment if you see anything abnormal, and there are telltale signs. So prevention is better than cure. If it is cure, go for treatment early. If there are things that are preventable in terms of lifestyle habits, stop taking alcohol or reduce your alcohol intake. Avoid unnecessary use of cigarette smoking, which can, too much cigarette smoking can predispose you to lung cancer. Excessive alcohol intake predisposes you to liver cancer, as well as a few things. Maintain a healthy lifestyle, exercise regularly. Those tend to reduce your chances and your risk of getting cancer. But to put that aside a bit, welcome all, Mish, Carlo, Alex. I wanted us to think of a story that we have all, thank you, Mishi, a story that we have all heard of if you're Christian, and how it is applicable in our lives. So everyone knows who Joseph is. I hope we know who all from the book of Genesis who Joseph is. He was a young man who was born to a man who was aging, and because he was born at an old age, his father loved him dearly and made a robe of many colors. And his brothers did not like him because they noticed how his father loved him dearly. And one day he started sharing about dreams that he kept on having, and this did not really go well with his brothers. So a couple of things that I have learned as I am doing going through that book and going through helping a few of our learners prepare for a Bible quizzing. The things that we can learn from Joseph and his brothers and Egypt at that time, and how God used a young boy who was taken through a period where he was innocent. He was born to an aging man. He did not choose to be loved by his father. He did not make a choice of being made for a beautiful robe or jacket of many colors. But people might not be happy with where you are. People might not be happy with your background, whether it's Mishi or JM. But we shouldn't let that be our drawbacks. We can learn from the adversities that we have seen, and we can take some lessons from that. So Joseph was born in a family, he did not have a choice, but he found himself in a family of very many brothers, and it can be daunting when you're the youngest and you have all these dreams. So one particular lesson that I learned from the book of Joseph, I have notes here, is be careful who you tell your dreams to, whether it is your friends or whether it is your brothers, whether it's blood related. I remember even there was a time even his dad was asking him, so are you saying that we will bow, even us as your parents will bow down to you at some point? So be very careful who you share your dreams with, who you share your desires with, who you share your visions with. Mobina, JM, be very careful, because sometimes your friends, sometimes even your family, sometimes even the people you think are closest to you might just be the people who might sabotage or water down your dreams, Grace. So most of the people might actually fear for you. They might think, hey, okay, so Catherine, lakini Catherine does not look like she can match up to this. Yeah, or Grace, yeah, who does Grace think she is? We are from the same ghetto. Kwani so anajiona aje like she can do this better than us? Or okay, so why are the dreams coming to Gilbert and us guys don't have the dreams, right? So be careful who you tell your dreams to. Be very careful, Felix, who you tell your dreams to. Whether it's blood related, whether it is close friends. Sometimes the dream comes to you because you're the person that God has chosen you to have that dream. Sometimes a desire or a vision comes to you because you're the one who's best placed to see the need, whether it's in business or at workplace. So some people will put you down. Some people will water down your dreams. Some people will actually, Steve, thank you. Some people will actually not want to see you succeed. They might actually see that the beginning of this dream means you're starting to set out, you're starting to detach from them. So they want you to remain where you are. Yeah, so leave the people who do not go with you, or be, if you have a dream or if you have a vision, be careful how you put it out. It might not be the right time for you to say that dream, or to share that dream, or to tell that dream to the people around you. So sometimes you might have a desire, but by talking about it too soon, some people push you away, some people sabotage you, or some people sabotage your dream. Share your dreams at the right time. Yeah, and Misha is saying actually keeping quiet is better. Yeah, telling out a dream to people will always jinx it. Yes, sometimes it does, but you can choose close. You can, I mean, be wise in how you discern the things that God has put in you, or be wise in how you discern an idea. My idea might not be well taken by Stevie or by Winnie. My idea might not be well taken by the people who are with you. Think about it. Think and dwell on it. Put it down in paper. Put it at the back of your mind. Just go through it. And if you have to share it, silence is powerful. Thank you. At the right time. Do it at the right time. Don't tell your dreams and all your visions to every Tom, Dick, and Harry, or Wambui, Njoguna, and Matthew who are out here. Be very wise in who you tell your dreams, your desires, your visions to, because they, as well said, might jinx your plans. Yeah. Study the community that you're with, study the group that you're with, study the people that you're able to share. Are they people who will lift you up, or are there people who will laugh at you, or who will not be better discerners of what God has given you? So as Joseph did, you know, Joseph had these dreams, and these dreams actually came to pass later on in life. But his brothers just laughed at him, and they had so much hate. In Kenya, we say they had so much bile for him, yani. They could not see, I mean, what is this guy saying? That we will bow down to him, Aje, you know, and he's a young boy. Just because now I'm about a jacket by the dad, he feels like he's bigger than us. Yeah, who does he think he is? Have you ever been told that? Who do you think you are? I know one time it was used against me. Who do you think you are to tell us such a thing, Shiko? But you know, God has chosen you. Yeah, Shiko is Shiko, and Shiko has a dream and a desire, and Eva, right? So your dreams are yours. That's why they come to you and no one else. Yeah, share your dreams at the right time. Yeah, or ask for discernment, ask for purpose, or ask for a pathway, ask for destiny connectors that will just align with you. Yeah, sometimes those dreams become a point where it separates you from who's with you, who's working with you, and who's working against you. Yeah, sometimes when you slowly get to share or slowly get the discernment, you start seeing who is aligned with you, who's aligned with your line or your life, and who you need to let go of. So sometimes adversity might come in, Effie. Sometimes just by learning or seeing what God has put ahead of you, then like Joseph, you get these brothers who actually want you to disappear from them. Imagine your own siblings wanting to kill you, but then others come and say, but what good does it do if we have blood on our hands? Why don't we throw him in a dried well pit? And they actually did it. Yeah, their own flesh and blood, they threw him in a pit and they sat down and they ate. And one of them had mercy on his own brother and said, okay guys, let's not kill him. There are these guys who are going to Egypt. Why don't we sell him? Yeah, why don't we sell him off? We'll look for an animal, we'll kill the animal, we will pack up blood on it. If you're like me, a Kenyan, you'll understand that we'll just put blood on the coat and go tell our dad that he was killed by an animal. And they sold him off. And at that time, imagine yourself as Joseph, your own flesh and blood selling you away. How heartbreaking that can be. And maybe this has happened to you in one way or another, Marianne or Terry or Winnie. Maybe that has happened to you. You've been heartbroken by people who are close to you. You couldn't even believe they could do such a thing, you know? Either they've jinxed it, or they've backstabbed you, or they've sabotaged you, or they went against you, did a whole 360, and you can't believe, and they have messed you up. At that time, you feel like the world is turned around against you. You can't believe your own brother sold you. You can't believe what is happening. Where do I start? You know, I thought these were my family. I thought they loved me. And that was a point of adversity for Joseph, a point where he may have been at his lowest. And he goes to these people. He is sold to some merchants who are passing by, who go and sell him off to Pharaoh, and he is put in prison in Egypt. And at the point of adversity, God's timing works. Yeah, and it is not quick. It's not a day. Imagine how long it took. He's sold, he becomes a slave, he's living in the prison. And then one time, the people, the servants of the king, who knew that he would meet such people. So I'm sure Joseph, maybe he wallowed a bit in prison, but your character defines you. Even at your adversity, you can pick yourself up and say you will do good or you will be better. So trust in the power of even networking at your lowest point. Joseph got to meet these two guys. And the two guys were from the king's palace who had wronged the king. And he decided to put them in prison. So there was a baker, the chief's baker. I don't know what he did to the king, but he went to prison. And then there was a chief cupbearer. And they were all apparently hanging out in prison. And they met Joseph. How many other people would they have met in prison? Thank you, Vinny. And they happened to meet Joseph. And this time, on the same night, the cupbearer of the king and of Pharaoh and the baker had a dream. And Joseph, because of the power of him networking and meeting people and getting to know them, even at his lowest, noticed that they were not okay the next day. And he asked them, what is troubling you? I know it's at night, but just walk with me. What is troubling you? and they were able to say this dream that they had that was nagging them. And Joseph just used what he had, the ability that he had from when he was a kid. He could he also had dreams like that when he was a child, but God gave him the power to be used by him to interpret these dreams. And so when they had their dream, Joseph was able to interpret it for them. And he said, it is not me, it is God who interprets these dreams. And he was able to tell them. For one, he told them, for the how many? For the two, the cupbearer and the baker. One of them, he told them, in 3 days, you will be restored. You will go back to the king's palace. He will restore you and he will put you back into your position. And unfortunately for the other one, it was clear and steadfast from God that you will not live. In 3 days, you will be hanged and your body will be eaten by birds. That is because that is what he saw in the dream, which he used the ability given to him by God. So share your dreams at the right time. These prisoners were able to share with Joseph. Cliche. Joseph shared his dream with his brothers and they laughed at him. How sad that his own brothers laughed at him. But Joseph was able to listen to other people and able to discern and listen to their dreams and able to use that ability, because God was also talking. Honestly, God was trying to tell a message to the brothers and to the family of Joseph and tell them, hey, at some point, this young man might help us. But they laughed at him. The funny part is they laughed at him. They thought it was ridiculous that this young boy thinks, and atakuwa boss, and he's going to be ruler over us. And they ridiculed him and they were mad at him. But Joseph was able to interpret these other guys' dream, and he was able to help them. And someone asks, so what? For the cupbearer, God was using this. This was all in a plan. He was able to go back to the king. And many years later, in as much as this guy did not help or remember Joseph and take him out of prison, even if Joseph asked for it, many years later, the king or Pharaoh had a dream, 2 dreams, and they bothered him so much. And he called his wise men and he asked them to interpret. But none of them, Effie, was able to interpret it, or Mishi. None. None of the king's wise men, none of the magicians were able to interpret the king's dream. But the cupbearer, in the presence of the king, remember networking, right? Remember networking. The person you talk to, you might not know whether they'll help you now or they'll help you many years from now. But just because you leave an impression, just because you interact with them, even at their lowest moment. So never underestimate the people you start off with. Never underestimate the people that you start low with, because they might lift you up at a certain point. The cupbearer remembers that, in prison there was this young man. And this young man actually interpreted our dreams. So he told the king, forgive me, because back a few years ago, there was this guy in prison and he helped interpret our dream. And the king asked for him. And that is how Joseph was able to get out from prison and go to the king's presence. And he was able to interpret the king's dream. And that actually helped Egypt. And it actually helped his own family in the time of famine, because only through the interpretation of Joseph was the king able to discern that there'll be 7 good years of bountiful, good harvest. Then there'll be years of famine. And God is using this to help you prepare for a season of famine. And then the king asks, okay, so we need to appoint a leader who will be able to learn how to store up good food for the time of famine. And he uses who? He uses Joseph. Can anyone find a man who would be wise enough? And everyone agreed that Joseph was perfect for the position. And in the 7 years where there was a lot, they stored plenty. A lot, like grain of sand. Then came a time of period of famine, and all people in many nations went back to Egypt. And in Egypt is where his own brothers came, and they were able to meet this young man that they sold off many years ago. So again, do not underestimate where you are from, whether you are last born, whether you're the lowest Paul, whether Japhet you are, you feel like you're not up to the task. God might use you at that position to uplift your family, or to uplift a business, or to uplift you at a season. And all these things that happen at the right time. So your success or your moment to sow comes at its perfect timing. Even when you do not know, or you're not aware. So you might be at a season where things are not adding up, where things are not, matching up. But a friend of mine right now has actually shared and said, was actually posting and say, eat that soup. You never know. Use or do what you're doing at this moment, but because whatever you're doing right now will be a stepping stone to the next season or to the next thing. It might be a gate opener. So keep doing what you're doing, even at your lowest, even at a time of adversity. Don't underestimate your power of networking and meeting people. Do not close yourself off. Do not feel like you don't have anything to contribute, because God gives you an ability to do that. Use your giftings. Joseph used his gifting, which was the ability to sit in God's presence and just ask him to give him wisdom in interpreting dreams. And that way he became a good leader. And it's even said when he was sold off to the king's house, that's a part I forgot, God blessed him. He had favor in the eyes of God, and whatever he did, he was blessed. And in the king's house, there was a woman who saw how bold and beautiful and strong he was. We're supposed to do that with children, and it was just funny that you're telling young kids how the Bible says the king's wife, or the queen, noticed, Potiphar's wife noticed that he was handsome and beautiful and strong, and he wanted him to go to bed with him when everyone had left, but Joseph decided to do the right thing, and he refused, and he ran away. And somehow he always used to leave his garment, and this woman used the garment to lie. And even when another affliction came to him, so imagine you've been sold by your brothers, you've been thrown in a pit, you've been sold off. Now you're in the king's house, you're doing well, people are seeing how successful you are. Not everyone is happy for you. Even your admirers, they might want to be closest to you. And just because you do not accept it, they might use it as your downfall and might, spread word, or, we say bad vibes, not good vibes. And in the era of social media, you might have things that are going out that are not true, but you stick to your truth. And in one way or another, you will come out strong, you will come out bolder. Even when he went to prison, he was put as the head in prison. And in everything that he did, they saw how successful he was. And that's how he was able to interact with many people. That's how he was able to interpret dreams. That's how he was able to get to the cupbearer and the baker, interpret their dreams, and eventually meet the king, or Potiphar, the Pharaoh. And in meeting Pharaoh, able to interpret his dream, and he was appointed. He was second in charge. From a boy who was thrown in a pit, from a nobody who was now the second in charge. He did not pay anyone. He just had favor, and he just trusted the process. So trust your process. Be bold. Be audacious in what you do. There's a season and a reason for why things happen and the timing for everything. Love what you do. Trust the process. Be consistent in how you show up. Be consistent in how you interact with people. Be good to everyone. Even the people who have done bad against you, even the people who screwed you up, Julia, just be good, do good, move on. Don't repay bad for bad. Do your best, move on. Don't dwell on the past. And do not repay evil for evil. That's what I wrote. And then trust the process. Trust the process. Yes, you might be down. Yes, the finances might not make sense right now. Yes, you might have to, work with the limited resources that you have right now. But if you do have a vision, if you do have something that you're targeting to work towards it. Be careful, as we said at the beginning, who you share your dreams with. Be careful who you share your visions with. Be careful who you share your plans with. Your plan is your plan, Judith. Paul, Manana, your dreams are your dreams. And even if people might want to sabotage it, it might never come out the same way. If it's a business, if it's a design, it is yours. Yeah, it's patented by you and God for you. So be consistent and steadfast even in your character. Show up every day. Show up and do something better today than it was yesterday, and learn from it. Learn to enjoy where you are right now, because tomorrow will be better. You will be higher tomorrow. You will work better. You will do good. So I think that's what I wanted to share from the story of Joseph and his brothers and the robe of very many colors, and how it was such a twist that eventually he's the one who helped them at a time when they needed food. Yet they had thrown him, yet he was able. They did bow to him as the dream had said. So trust that God uses us. Trust that God is in everything that we do. Trust that there's a story and a reason. There's a puzzle that you fit in this world. There's a puzzle that, you kind of fit in, and a role that you take up. And in as much as it means so menial, or it doesn't look like it adds any water, there's a process and a timing for it. There's a season for it. So I hope you get inspired. Mine is to encourage you. Mine is to just say, keep trusting and doing what you know best. Again, be careful who you share your dreams to. It's so easy to stick to where you are and be very comfortable, but sometimes your dreams might want you to just take a step and move. At that time, maybe his brothers felt like he should stay where he is and not feel like he can be on top of them, and they laughed at him. But Joseph just shared his dreams and went on his life. And when they thought they hated him because of his character, because clearly he was not at the same level with him, even your friends, if you do show that you're getting better every day, that you're improving in your character, they want you out. Yeah, they don't want to hang out with you anymore, mfalme, because bana, the level has changed in how you're interacting. You're looking different, you're shining different. So they want to dim your light. They want to sell you off. But they do not know that by selling you off, or by standing away, or by kicking you out, they're actually opening doors for you. So in as much as the doors seem closed, in as much as you feel alone, God is using that time to actually prepare you. So at the time where he was sold off, Joseph was being prepared for a destiny, a leadership role that he did not think he would get up to. So he starts off in Potiphar's house, and he's blessed, and his character is known. Then a setback might come. So be prepared for setbacks that come in your life, and they come in all forms. There'll be very many setbacks that may come as you grow through your journey of life and your career and your business and just lifing. There'll be ups and downs. So prepare for the seasons where you're low, or something takes you down, but don't dwell on that point where you're lowest. Just take a breather, pick yourself up, and dust it off, and get back up again, and let's do this again. Let's grind again. Let's work harder. Let's trust the process that we are here to do better. So I hope this inspires you. I hope this inspires someone. Again, it's a reminder that, let's keep trusting the process. Let's keep being ourselves authentically. And in matters health, in matters just cancer, let's take care of ourselves. Prevention is better than cure. Sifa, if there's anything, live a healthy lifestyle. Reduce or stop your alcohol intake to reduce the risk of liver cancer. Stop cigarette smoking. go for your screenings. If you're a lady, you are sexually active within the reproductive age group, get your pap smears done. We mentioned that January was for pap smears. If you haven't, get a pap smear. Do a breast exam, self-breast exam. I can repost on how to do self-breast exam. For men, get your prostate checked. If you're above 55, get a PSA checked. Other things you can do, just learn to, one, reduce the amount of red meat that you take. What else? Wear sunscreen to prevent the risk of skin cancer. I'm trying to think of the things that are off my head. Yeah. Healthy life, healthy diet. 60% should be vegetables on your plate. 20% maybe the carbohydrate, and the rest should be protein. Yeah, exercise regularly, at least 3 to 5 times a week. Drink lots of water. And then, yeah, take care of your mental health, take care of yourself, take care of who you surround yourself with, and in as much as we've talked about just your life, your mental well-being, your health, I hope this has inspired someone. I hope we learn how to just choose a circle of people that we are with, that we surround ourselves with. Choose your tribe, choose your community. Choose your vision bearers, choose people who will walk with you. And what else? Learn to step out of that comfort zone, learn to step out at the right time, learn to leave a season behind. 2024 is behind us, and learn to move on, learn to say that it's okay that this has happened. It's okay to move on. It's okay to say bye-bye to a decade in your life and just move on. Learn to just trust that every single day gives us an opportunity to try again, to move on. So try and be a Joseph. Try and be a Joseph and step out, and at some point be bold about the dreams that God has given you. Be bold about where you have been positioned, Vinny. Be bold about talking about what you're passionate about. Be bold at, putting it into action, what you think God has put for you out here in the year 2025, and aligning everything that is set out for you. Be bold to take up the spaces, Wendy, that are out there for you, because there are spaces out here for you. Take it, embrace it, own your space. There's only one Vinny, I think, that I know of who does a good job. So take that space, own it, pat yourself at the back, and just enjoy the life that God has given you. And trust your process, trust the season, and enjoy the timing of it. So I hope this has been helpful. See you again. Eat that soup, eat it well. Some people say take your hardest tasks first. Break it down into small pieces, take a step at a time. If you've fallen, pick yourself up. If you're old like me, there's an Aliyah song that says, because if at first you don't succeed, pick yourself up and dust yourself and try again, because we need to keep on. We're not sticking back. So have a good evening. Let's see each other. Check out tomorrow. Bye bye.